What up? So, you know how absolutely how absolutely hard it is to try your best, you know, like let me close this door. Got the drum. Chinese drum. But do you know how absolutely difficult it is to try your best when you just feel like I know that it's not gonna get to that point with certain people. You know, you all good on your own, but it's it's like here you are trying to go back into something that you know you don't belong in, but you're gonna do it anyway because what? It's been long enough. You feel like it's been long enough, and so you want to give. You don't even want to give it another try. It's just like it's what you know. It's what you know. And sometimes what you know is like sometimes it feels like that's where all I want to be, you know? Sometimes it's like that's just where I want to be because trying to do something different, trying to do something that isn't what I'm used to, it's like that's too far out of most people's comfort zone. That's most of the time that's too far out of people's comfort zone, and they expect you to want to stay in that comfort zone with them, i.e., trauma bonding. And you know, sometimes I get my downloads. You know, I need to find a different outlet, but sometimes I get my downloads when I'm just doing my spiritual thing, like when I'm just you know like scrolling through YouTube and somebody says something, or like I see a commercial, and it's like basically here's my synchronicity type of deal. Sometimes it's like sometimes I'll see multiple videos, I'll watch some scary stuff, then I'll watch some spiritual stuff, and then on top of that there's commercials here and there, and it's like I would pay to not have the commercials, but I like having the commercials because not only is that kind of a waste of money to not have the commercials, because it's like you need to know what's going on in the world, and you're not going to know that if you're just getting spoiled by constant streaming. So I don't mind the commercials because I'm not really a fan of TV, so I don't watch a lot of TV, and so I don't have cable, and I'm cool with that. That's how I would rather it be, not because oh, like I'm some kind of cheapskate or something like that. No, I prefer the finer things in life, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to overdo it. I'm okay with not overdoing it. And for me, I'm more of a streamer than a cable-er. So I don't do much TV. I do more streaming. And when I get streaming, I like to have my commercials so I can know what's going on in the world, what's popular in the world, you know, what everybody's, up to, what they're getting into, for basically sake of like, because that's how I help the world. You know, sometimes I listen to other people, I listen to other things, I listen to different songs, and I realize that either a concept or a word will stick out amongst all that. I'll watch all the scary shit I want, watch all the spiritual stuff I want, watch all the commercials I want, watch even, like little drama channels and stuff, and, stream other TV shows. I don't do a whole lot of TV still. I don't really have a favorite TV show because it's like I need a constant stream because, like, that's how I get my messages. That's how I tap into the world. So it's not so much as, like, oh, well, because some people actually are out there just straight up stealing other people's content. But that's not my forte. Like, I don't need to do that. I mean, do I have my favorite people that I watch? Sort of, because I bounce around a lot. I don't like to stay in one spot for too long because I feel like you know I'm missing out on a download. And see, I come from a family of narcissists, and I've always dated narc people. I know that word's getting thrown around. You guys probably tired of hearing about it, but oh well, it's my video. Okay? And I'm talking about it in here. So it's like I come from a family of that. And like I know how to use mine. Like I know how to not let it affect people in a negative way. It's like I know exactly what to do with myself and how to use my moon side. I know how to use it like a motherfucker. So don't come for me. But it's like that's how I get my downloads sometimes. It's just like listening to conversations, like even on the street. Or most of that shit is honestly demonic. It's like so fucking demonic. Like neighbors or just people walking around, people at the store and shit like that. They're so annoyingly fucking negative. Sometimes it's not always like evil. I'm just looking for somebody to kill, steal, destroy. I mean, they obviously are, but it's more like in a lost way. It's like basically a bunch of blindfolded zombies walking around like run, run, trying to see if like blind as fuck, can't see in front of them, won't feel for nothing in front of them, and they just walking around run. Like may not even have eyeballs in their head type shit. And it's like hopefully this next one to be a bite. I'll go in a crowd of people and see who I can bite. It's like lost. It's like people aren't even actually in like super demonic energy. It's like people don't know how, to be honest. People don't know how to be in that kind of deep, dark energy. They don't know how to be in that kind of energy because it's not natural. Humans are meant to do what's natural. And whatever isn't natural for you is going to be, the first things that kill you. And literally, it's going to be the first things that kill you. And it's like, no, 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 Soraya, there's one in the bathroom. There's one in the bathroom. Don't come over here. Go get it. Go get it. Close the door, please, Leia. Go get dressed, all right? Get one out of mommy's bathroom, okay? It's hanging up. But it's like, people, like, literally, they don't know. They're just fucking zombies, dude. That's why you shouldn't have got the yeah. It's like, motherfuckers, it's fucking zombies now. It's like, and they so lost. It's like, some people, honestly, they're like, I like to call them half-assers. And half-assers are people who are teetering, they're sitting right here on the fence, but on this side, it's light. On this side, it's toxic. And they're just, dangling a foot in each one, pretty much. That's what I call half-assers. And those people, they literally It's like they literally they can't even choose no more. It's like basically they have to wait until the demon is tired. They have to wait until the negativity is tired in order for their light to come back. In order for them to decide if whether they still want to do light or dark. And it's like as soon as they start going towards the light, it's like, what you talking about, Willis? Where you going? Then all of a sudden, like this, the toxic start growing, and it's just, start kind of pouring over in the light. It's like fucking like a vase that grows taller and tips over, and like kind of like oil, and it's like this is like a bubble of water. The light is like a bubble of water, and it's like that sludge and oil of toxin just tips over, can't really penetrate the water because oil and water don't mix. Can't really penetrate it, but it can cover it and smudge it the fuck out of being oily and shit. It's like super smudgy. And like it starts to pool. And once it pulls around it, like it could actually, overcome it. Like, it's in like this bubble, but this bubble is also in like in a basin itself. And it's like it boop, and it just fills it up. That sludge just goes in there and fills it up. And that's exactly how these people act. They act like, because, when people go into negative demonic mode, it's not like flip of a switch. It's not really flip of a switch. Hush! It's not really flip of a switch. It's more like it builds. It kind of builds. It builds like, and it just keeps building. It keeps filling, pulling and pulling until it fills. Keeps pulling around that bubble of light until it fills, and that bubble of light is submerged. So it's like they almost can't get to the light no more, and they just become these fucking zombies. And I just feel like it's just so messed up, and like that's how people just stay where they stay. They just stay where they be. They just like, man, that sludge is all I know. That sludge is what makes my, what did I tell y'all? Go, close the door and be quiet. Close the door. Thank you. But that's how it be. And then they just end up going back to where it's, well, it was comfortable here. Because I'm not going to lie, this, hold on. It's just me and this bubble of lights. There's no sludge. Okay. Walk around with my little bubble of light. In the bubble. And they trying to give it, not even knowing that their spirit is missing the sludge. They end up trying to give their light to sludgy motherfuckers. And they look at that light like, blah, ha, 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 ha. Like, laughing at it. Even though they got the same thing within them too. It's just, submerged. It's just down there. It's in the sunken place. And it's just like, and then you just walk around like, huh. You want my light? Ah, ha, ha, ha. And then you try giving it back to you try giving it to or back to somebody who has a lot of light, and they look at you like, that little bubble of light? No, you're gonna fuck my shit up. Why your light so small? Why you got this one little tiny little bubble of light? No. I'm completely healed. I'm full of light. I ain't even on the bubble no more. My whole body is filled up with that. I ain't got no bubbles no more. Take your bubble on. Well, what you doing in your life? What you doing in your life for your bubble to be that small? So it's like literally these people, these half-assers, they don't get a break from anybody. They don't. But it's kind of like is what they set themselves up for because they stayed on the fence for too long. So now they have to carry their life like they're on the fence. See, before it was cute. Before you could dabble between people who was, who um you can dabble between people. You could be like, oh, I got like friends and like I got negative friends. And it's just like nowadays, it's like now you have to find people who actually want to deal with you. That's the difference between, before 2020 and after 2020 is that people have had the chance to sit the fuck down and reevaluate their life. And if you're not using this time to reevaluate your life, then you're using this time to literally make yourself go crazy because you're trying to straddle the fence that basically don't exist anymore. That fence no longer exists. So what do you do when like you ain't got no more people to balance between? Because the people who got more light than you, they don't want to deal with you because your light too small. Your light too small, that means there is so much that can attack you. And they not trying to get attacked. And then people who have sludge, they see you carrying around the light with you, they laughing at you. Like, what are you doing? Like, your light is small for a reason. Won't you just be sludgy and grimy just like the rest of us? But we don't want to deal with you either because we tired of our shit too. Them motherfuckers would rather see people of the light would rather be alone, peaceful, healing, making the world a better place, create legacies. Sludgy people would rather just keep their sludge and just, wait to go extinct. And both of these, here's the catch, half-assers. Both of these kinds of folks in which there's basically one or two or half, which is you, the half-asser. Both of these kinds of people would rather be alone. Both of these people would rather be alone. All the people of the light, they would rather be alone or with people who are exact in their healing frequency. So if you halfway healed, then you gonna need another halfway healed person in your life. That's about all you need is that one more person. Not a whole bunch of people, but one more person. Unless you got kids. But if you're fully healed and successful, you need another fully healed and successful person. These are the only people that's honestly willing these days to have at least one more adult around them, one more, person, adult around them, and one more like mind around them, basically. That's not including kids because, your kids are part of you no matter what. You got to do them right. And best believe they are. So they would rather only deal with one other like-minded person that isn't a child. But over here, these people just want to be alone. Will they take the company? Only if you're given that little schmigger little bubble of light. Only if you giving them, even if you just dusting their ass, they cool with that. But after you dust their ass, it's like they done dealing with you. They definitely don't want to deal with each other. They tired of karma at this point. They hella tired of karma. They don't even want to deal with each other. So there's more people who's actually alone over here than there's people that's alone over here, to be quite honest. Most of these people just want to be by themselves because they know that everybody else is just like them. And that everybody else want a little bit of something and then, bye. Like, get out of my life. I just want a little bit of something and you can get out of my life. Everybody is all for self over here. At least you can have one other partner over here. But over here, everybody is backstabbing. That's why there's more people alone over here than over here. And this is where the trauma bonding is. So people who like the trauma bond, that's for half-assers. That's for people in the middle. Okay? You belong over here, but you basically went to the furthest wall. To, like you want to be up against the wall of where the light being energy is, but the thing is you still on this side of the fence. Just because you up against the wall don't mean that you on this side. It means you still on this side of the fence. The fence that is non-existent and is now a fucking wall. So you are up against the wall to try to, get as close to as much light being energy as possible, but you still only have your little ass bubble of light. And you trying to say, oh, well, this works for me, because I'm standing up against, the wall. And even though this whole side over here is this shit, if you put two boxes next to each other, okay? Two fucking boxes next to each other. Do that mean that the contents in this box is in this box too? No. Do it mean that these things are right next to each other? Is my fingers inside each other right now? Can my fingers morph over into the other finger? No. They're solid. It might be flesh on flesh, but it's still two separate pieces of flesh. Still. No matter how close I get them, it's still going to be two pinkies. So that fence you can't straddle no fence no more. It's a wall now. And you half-assers with your little ball of light. Y'all took too long to make a decision. So now you on this side and you just like this up against the wall, hoping that, a light being will come and save you. But that's not going to happen because you chose. Because you didn't choose the light. Because you didn't purposefully decide on the light. You stayed indecisive, right? You stayed indecisive. That means that by default, you go to the masses. Because it takes work to get over here. So by default, you go to the masses, which is over here. Yeah. So that's why a lot of y'all that's done tried to make your lives better. You tried to do it on your own. You tried to have people out of your life. You tried to ghost everybody. You tried to ghost, your job. You tried to, just stick yourself out, I don't know, in the woods somewhere. You tried to just sit alone at your little lonely coffee table and just stay away from the world. But that didn't work. It didn't work because you did not do the work to be over here. So now you stuck over here. You have no choice but to be on this side. You hear that? That's training. That's confirmation. Look at God. By default, you chose this side because you didn't choose to do the work for this side. So I know a lot of y'all out there right now. I'm speaking to you right now. I'm speaking to y'all because I know y'all went back to y'all traumas. Y'all all went back to what trauma bonded you in the first place, and you're hoping that you know that you won't. Okay, you feel it in your heart, in your gut. Okay, your intuition is popping on this part. You feel it that there ain't nobody on this side like anybody on this side. You know it. Your intuition on point with that. That you know there ain't gonna be no light beings over here. But you wanna hope that there is. So then y'all go around, start doing what you always do. people pleasing. Trying to get back in people good graces that you know you ain't got no business asking for good graces because they ain't got no good graces. You just honestly, you trying to use up all your last bit of good because it's like, well, what's the point of holding on to this bubble? I may as well, just let it go. But here's the thing though, because you've always been the sun and the moon, because you've always been that on the inside. I hate to say it, but it only leads to destruction. It do. Who knows? Maybe you gotta be destroyed. Maybe you gotta be cut down. Like I'm talking about, like you a tree that's grown like this, all bent over and all out of shape, and your ass just gotta be like you gotta be cut down in pieces. Like you grew, like here's a house and you grew like this. Your ass gotta be cut down in pieces by the universe. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's worse. Y'all should have chose. You should have chose. I'm not gonna say there ain't no hope left for you. I'm gonna just say that just y'all should have chose. When you had the chance to choose this, you should have taken it. You know exactly when that moment was. You know exactly when it was. But instead, you decided to stay indecisive. Whether you decided to go here. Now, if you decided to go here, you ain't got nothing but the worst kind of destruction coming. And I'm not even gonna much lie. I'm gonna give it to you straight, no chasing. I'm gonna give it to you real. Prison or death. Especially if you intentionally chose to go from straddle defense. Deliberately, I chose this dark shit. Or if you went from here and I deliberately chose this dark shit. Literally, both of y'all, it's the same. I'm not gonna lie, it's worse if a motherfucker comes from here and then say, "Oh, I just want dark." Yeah, that's worse. That's probably death automatically at some point. But if you're here, half-assing, you're at least gonna get prison or death. Or sometimes between the both of you, if you want bum to bum or boom to boom, and if you grew like this over a house, you still gonna have to get chop, 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 chop. The universe gonna chop you into pieces. It's gonna chop you down into pieces. And if you ain't got the strength to handle that, then yes, it's gonna end up death or prison. And you can't use spell work because it don't work no more. It don't. It's an illusion. Literally. All it is these days is illusions because God is among the earth. You ever wonder why you sent some shit out to somebody and like it don't fail? It ain't fucking working. Why it ain't working? Let me just tell you something. That shit is not only definitely, it ain't even gonna touch or get close to this person over here. But even if you up against the wall over here because you took too long to make a decision, or if you over here just loving the darkness, it's still just an illusion. Let me explain that. It's still just an illusion. It is not no, oh, well, yeah. Huh? Yeah, this is working. It's like, yeah, it's working. It don't work. It don't work. It's just an illusion. But when you able to, like, I'm not gonna sit up and say illusions ain't powerful, but because it's a trick of the mind. And so your mind ain't stable over here. And definitely not over here. It's not stable. So to be quite honest, like it'll be easy, to mentally trick somebody over here. It'll be easy to do it. But over here, you ain't tricking shit. But up against the wall and over here, it's like it's easy for y'all to trick each other because it's an illusion. It's an illusion. You know? And it's like, and that's all it takes. All it takes is for you to make you think. All it is to take you to make you, um, to like manipulate shit around you. That's all it takes. That's all a fucking spell is. That's all it is. Do you know how so fucking dead that magic is over here? It is so dead. It's so dead. Like the only thing you can do is illusions. I mean, back then, you probably could, just like, I don't know, get somebody's fucking hair, attach it to a doll, and like get a little bit of their blood, put it in the middle, make it act like their heart, and then stick a pin through it, and then they actually die. Well, that's back when, like at different times, when it was just only that. Okay? Now we got technology. There's buildings everywhere. There's not as many trees no more. But y'all didn't know that. Why do you think that, like most of these places, like I used to watch Randall Nautica. I used to love that love. Yeah, love watching them, um, uh, clips of people just following this creepy ass app and stuff like that, which actually was, uh, illusion at its finest. Illusion at its finest. It took you exactly to what you wanted to see. That's it. That's the only illusion. It just took you exactly to what you wanted to see. It's like, it's like if you ask Google, hey Google, find me a red balloon. And then Google takes you to a red balloon. It's like, yes, of course Google is going to do that. I have my headphones in. And it's like, yeah, of course Google's going to do that. It's probably going to take you to a store where there's red balloons. It's just that, that app, that Random Nautica app, that was just a little more calculated with what she was asking for. That's all. And, so it's illusion at its finest, basically, and it's like there's way too much in the way anymore. Like, why do y'all think that, like I was saying with the Random Nautica stuff, why do you think that, a lot of that shit, or like just watching scary stuff, why do you think that most people who delve into like the real old witchcraft, and like really dive into it to the point where they completely lose their soul because, just because of how much it don't work no more, because there's too much today in this world? Why do you think they're always out in the woods? Don't you know that you need a bunch of fucking trees? You need a bunch of natural shit in order to make, some like stupid ass voodoo shit work. You stole my man. Stabbing her. But the only thing this bitch gets is like little chest pains. Like, ooh, I got some acid reflux today, and that's it. Ancient times, you used to be able to kill a bitch like that. Now no more. It's too much. There's what? Wi-Fi. So radio waves in the sky. There's what? Airplanes. There's pollution. There's way too much death on the planet, basically. There's way too much death, way too much technology, and not enough fucking natural shit in order for this shit to work. Honestly, the most powerful illusion these days is, whatever is basically like lightning. I mean, you use, you use light, you use electricity to, power your electronics. Use electricity to power an AI. That's the powerfulest illusion that we got left from that ancient ass, fucking world is lightning, is electricity. But that's only in its physical form. Not in the spiritual magical form, no. In its physical form. Which is like lightning. Or a light. That's physical form. You can't use it in any other form no more. So most of that shit's illusion, and because these people up against the wall and people over here, they already got fucked up mentality, so it's easy to cast illusions on them. But you ain't doing that over there. That ain't never going. So that's all a trauma bond is an illusion. And it's like this person who you ain't got no business being around, and who ain't good for you, and you ain't good for them, or just mainly maybe they just ain't good for you. It's like, you trauma bond to a person, and it's like that's basically just gonna make the destruction feel double time, because your karma and their karma. You really want to put that together? Because it's not gonna make nothing better. And be quite honest, I wouldn't know what would be the best thing to do on this side, because I know over there, I don't know over there. I wouldn't know what would be the best thing. I know y'all trying to keep to yourselves right now, but you got these motherfuckers coming after you because they need some light. I ain't got no light. And y'all trauma bond to their ass and let them suck all your light away. And you realize why these people, why people end up where they end up. There's still decisions and choices to be made over here. I guess the best piece of advice is, like, you're going to have to go through it. You're going to have to let the universe chop your ass down in little pieces, because you didn't grew like this over a house. The universe got to chop you down into pieces. Because all of that have to go. It have to go. And by the time you get down to your very, 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 very fucking bottom, which is basically gonna be after you spend some time in prison, or maybe maybe a near-death experience, or maybe you ain't got no way out of death. The universe will wait to that very last moment, and you will have the time. You will have the time in that last moment. And that is going to basically determine whether you live or die. Regardless of whether it's prison, near death, or on your deathbed, you still get a chance. The universe still gives you one last chance after all the cutting that it had to do. Because the universe don't hate you. You just got karma that gotta be done. What you do unto others, you bring onto yourself. What you put out, you get back. Are you able to handle what you put out? Your best bet is to, whatever fuck shit you're doing, is to stop now. Because that's just building up on all the fuck shit karma that you got coming for yourself anyway. It ain't the end. Sorry to say. But you motherfuckers who are like this or over here, at this point in time, right now, this year, 2020, July 2020, it is not the end. Your karma is not done. Your best, the best piece of advice I can give you is to stop now. You still got your worst coming. You ain't go through your worst. That's the iceberg. That's the tip of the iceberg. You know, iceberg this, how it's just the little part up here, up about the water, and then it's the big ass part down here. Well, you gotta go through the big ass part now. Yeah, you gotta go through the big ass part now. Well, that's it for a little bit. This video's probably long. All right, bye.